We're headed into the end of an era. It's the era of Uranus moving through the sign of Taurus. He's leaving for good as he heads into direct motion on February the 4th, 2026. What I love about this forward momentum that he's going to engineer in your life and in my life as a god of sky god, electricity, thunderbolts of exciting and exhilarating change and unexpected developments is he's going to be doing that turnaround through to the 26th of April. So today's video is about Uranus turning into a direct motion planet and skedaddling his butt out of Taurus, a fixed sign where he's not quite compatible. I'll talk about how that might look for the world as we get rid of that Taurus story that began in 2018 with the god of the unexpected, of radical change, of extreme energy in that sky. And that part of that chart gives rise to fascism, agricultural disturbances like the Dust Bowl. It gives rise to the cryptocurrency realm because Taurus rules currencies. Those energies are behind us, but I'm going to describe what it might look like as he goes across that finish line, like until the third week of April. So we're all still under his spell. We're still like living with the energy right now, but we're going to be completing a story that really, really began in 2018. It's definitely going to be something like radical change ahead, last in a lifetime shifts or something like that. So welcome to my channel if you're new, and many of you are for some crazy ass reason. I can't quite describe why. You are so very welcome to my world. This is a Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. My name is Lori Lothian. There are always all signs content here, but there's also various videos that are also about the world and world events. So stay tuned for more of that. Now, I do want to say that I have a little bit of an excitement about getting rid of Uranus and Taurus, because this is a fixed sign. And fixed signs do not get along well with things that are going to change quickly, without warning, destabilizing, unexpected, radical stuff, off the wall, outside the box, even including rebellion and freedom. And also the words break free and break through, break free and break through. Good Uranian words, the tower and the tarot, this kind of something that's no longer needed or structurally sound can like be literally hit by the lightning bolt of change. And at the very same time, it's not easy to go through a lot of change and disruption. We're humans, we're mammals. We don't like everything to change, right? And it's difficult on the nervous system. And Taurus is a fixed sign, which means it's like fixative. You know, when you do a painting and you want to spray it so it doesn't smush and it's like the final version, you're fixing it, fixative, the painting. When cement dries, it's fixed into a form. When concrete dries, it's fixed into a form. That is what fixed signs are about. Taurus, especially because it's fixed earth. It literally is concrete, okay? Or, you know, structures that congeal and become hard and don't change easily. And in that way of thinking about fixed energy, and of course, if you are a Taurus, this is your time to get the hell out of this. But, you know, all the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, I'm Aquarius. This is squaring my fixed Aquarian nature, who does not prefer change. We have been feeling rattled. We have been feeling like we're out of our own steering wheel a lot of the time since 2018. Life events have been occurring for us fixed signs, Leo and Aquarius and Taurus and Scorpio. And we're like, holy man, I couldn't have seen that thing coming. I was a left fielder. I mean, there's so many funny examples of that and not funny examples, right? Because I'm an Aquarius rising and I have this in my house of home, property, real estate, and land. And I've moved like so many times. It's not funny. I don't know if you other Aquarian risings, put your hand up. Maybe sun and moon as well. We'll get to that. But all the moves that I've done since 2018 have been alarming. You know, it was very nomadic in my reality. It's like, can I finally settle down somewhere? Does anyone else relate? And on the fixed sign Aquarius, especially, it's our fourth house. To the point where there's been unexpected surprises and moves where I couldn't have seen it coming. Like for example, my girlfriend said I could rent her place for X number of months, and then all of a sudden she needed it back right away. And with no warning, I was pretty well homeless. And there's just one way of seeing how like that was bad, but then it was good because the place I found in the wake of my homelessness was even better and even more way yay me. So all said and done, don't think about disruption as bad. But I'm just saying the time of things that you wanted to be stable All of us wanted it to be stable because Taurus is a stable sign. We wanted it to be stable. It's fixed Earth. It wasn't stable since 2018. And now we're going to get rid of that story by the third week of April, and we're going to brush ourselves off and go, whew, pick ourselves up and move on. And then we'll be talking about the Gemini story for the next 7 years. Last year, it would have been between July the 7th and November the 7th, okay? July the 7th of 2025. November the 7th of 2025, we ended up with a blessed relief. That was when jiggy-jaggy, unexpected, radical, staccato, Uranus and Taurus left Taurus for a hiatus and did some testing of the Gemini sky. And so during that time, for people who've been struggling, especially fixed signs, Leo and Aquarius, Taurus and Scorpio, with unexpected developments in their reality, got a breath of fresh air and a bit of relief. But we still have to finish up. So now, having ingress back into Taurus in November 7th of 2025, headed backward, is that now we have this particular 27th degree of the sign of Taurus, which is on a star called Algol, decapitation, Medusa, corpses, death, and rotting bodies, a difficult star, but is a well star. We have Uranus sitting on that star and turning around and going forward. Some of you might realize, and some of you may not realize, that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has his midheaven up there where that star is. Big blowout of news all over the internet, Canada, coming through about a tranche of Epstein files that were delivered, and people screenshot horrendous testimonies against Trump before the Department of Justice pulled it off. And unfortunately, people saw it and they screenshotted it. And it seems to indicate, I know if you're a conspiracy theorist, if you're a Trump lover, I'm Canada, I don't care. I'm just telling you, whether it's true or not true, the disclosures that were screenshot by people about Trump vis-a-vis Epstein does not put him in a good light. Let's just put it that way. Some of you may know that in 2024, my channel took off a bit because I, along with some other astrologers, but I had predicted that Trump would be in harm's way for unaliving. I specifically said that. I used the other word that starts with an A. And I said it would be near July 15th, and on July the 13th, we know what happened. Well, that is because of the same situation, Uranus on his midheaven, but this time then, back in July, Mars was there as well. Mars and Uranus on his midheaven, a double whammy with Uranus on his midheaven. Mars midheaven is dangerous, and it's intense, and it cuts, ends, and severs, and it shocks us. So we're in the thick of it right now with that story. I don't know where it's gone today. I haven't had time to check. So there's that. Now, as I want you to recognize that your sun sign is your true self. You want to think you have a spirit, like a deep eternal you that lives multiple lifetimes or one life in the big, like one moment of all lives happening everywhere all at once, like that movie. That's your sun. It's your flavor of God. White light becomes a rainbow. It prisms into colors. There's different flavors of divine. We're sparks of the divine. That's your sun, right? You could be an Aries, you're fire, and you're cardinal. But then you have to come into life and play a role. You have to be here and do something somehow, somewhere. You got to do something, right? And so in life, you come in and you got to do something. What are you going to do? You're going to play a character and do a video game. So the game player is your sun, and the video game avatar is your ascendant. Or you're going to come into a movie and you're the actor and you're going to play a character in the screenplay or in the movie. That's the ascendant, the character and its body and what it looks like. Like Leos have big hair and big beards, for example, for men, or women, big hair like Erica Kirk. This is how you play the role. That's your character, that's your ascendant, but the sun is playing the role. And then the moon is how you feel and think about life, mind, body, feeling, thinking stuff. But it's often that your sun can be really orienting you towards career and purpose. And especially after the age of 43, 44, you begin to move more into solar life if you're a self-aware individual and less just playing the character that you're programmed to play, the ascendant. And the moon can be about your home and nest and safety. So listen for sun, moon, and rising. See which ones are really resonating. Sometimes the moon just reflects how you're feeling about the circumstantial change that the character, the ascendant, is undergoing, right? The emotional. Are you arguing with reality? Are you arguing with what's happening to the character in the simulation? That would be lunar energies. Lunar energies can connect to anger and depression and emotions about reality, but also just your home and your mom and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to roll through the sky. Anybody who's got a Taurus 27 degree placement, anything there, okay? Do you have your sun at 27 Taurus, your rising sign near 720 Taurus? Let's go 24 to 29 Taurus, right? Do you have your sun there? Big energies, big intensity around spiritual true you, around career and purpose, around father figures. Moon in the same section of the sky near 27 degrees, 3 before, and the rest of it to 29. 24 to 29. Home, you're going to change your home. Your mother's going to go through some stuff. Your emotions are going to be all over the map. What about you guys who might have your rising sign there? The character in the simulation, the identity of you is changing if it's close to 27 Taurus. Now, for everything I've just said about the sun, moon, and rising, and how sensitive you are to this 27 degree stationary turnaround, there's one more thing to add. Anyone with Leo, 24 to 29, okay, you're in the same kind of intensity, right? Aquarius, same thing, 24 to 29. That degree is highly activated, your sun, moon, or rising. You're going to feel it. And Scorpio, same thing, same degree range. There is meaning to any planet sitting at 27 degrees. This is intermediate astrology, and a lot of you are going to be rolling your eyes or bored or not get it. And I won't be doing a long-term like runoff on this, but understand that if you had a planet between 24 and 27 degrees in your chart, don't use Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Those are outer planets and they're generational. And everyone has that for like 3 months when you were born. Don't do that. But say you have Sun and say you have Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, right? In that near that 24 to 27 range. Those planets are also getting an intensity of a direct turnaround, just like Donald Trump's 26 degree midheaven, all right? Or IC with midheaven, ascendant, descendant too. Big energies. What that planet rules in your chart, let's say you have Venus at 27 Taurus, like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Both of their Venuses are on that Algol decapitation off of your heads. Alcohol and alcoholism, by the way, for that star. That sun, moon, or rising, but then also Venus and everybody else is getting activated. So if your Venus is in Taurus, it's a big deal, but she also rules Libra and Taurus. So the Libra and the Taurus houses in your whole sign chart are highly, highly erratic. And like there's a huge energy there. So if your Mars is near 27, let's go 24 to 29, the Scorpio part and the Aries part of your chart, no matter what sign your Mars is in, he rules those houses. Big change, right? Including the house where it's happening. 3 houses. If your Jupiter's there, the Pisces, Sagittarius, whole sign houses of your chart are getting electrified on the stationary turnaround a week or two before and after, right? Plus wherever it's happening, which is in Taurus. What house is that for you? If it's Saturn that sits there in that range of planets, right? 24 to 29, he rules Capricorn and Aquarius in your chart. Don't use the outer planets. And those 2 houses of your chart are electrified for radical change, as well as the Taurus whole sign house where it's happening. I hope that makes sense for your intermediate astrologers. Let's go ahead. Let's roll through. What is the Sabian symbol for 27 degrees of Taurus? I could hear you guys asking me that. Let me explain. So the 27 degrees gets rounded up to 28 degrees. That's how we do a Sabian symbol. And the Taurus 28 degree symbol from my book, Diana E. Roche's Screen of Prophecy, Sabian Symbols, a woman pursued by mature romance. Now, Taurus is a sign of romance. It is ruled by Venus, or she sees the energy of Uranus in her home kingdom, and she can apply pressure for him to behave himself. But, however, it's a square, so it's intense. So a woman pursued by mature romance, no time like the present. Now, it talks about there's no point beyond which the fullness of life cannot be experienced. So buy some roses, you know. It speaks to faith and a refusal to accept defeat or loss at the end of a matter. A woman pursued by mature romance expresses the deeper joy to be found in experience when it comes after its appointed time has passed. There is no time like the present for seizing opportunity. That's so Uranian, by the way. If the potential exists, it can be realized. At its highest, the symbol speaks to unquenchable hope, patience, and a refusal to recognize limitations. I like those words, unquenchable hope, patience, and a refusal to recognize limitations. I'm going to add that as a new intro. It's too beautiful. And keywords are petition, allure, attraction, enchantment, hope, opportunity, prospect, chance, appreciation, and ripeness. What are you ripe for? You know, seriously, it doesn't have to be love. Are you perfectly ready to be plucked, you know, buy life, to start a new career path, to move to a new home, to have a child, to get married. There's something very powerful about that degree in the Sabians. And Uranus is so powerful as he turns around. And there is some positivity because Venus does witness this turnaround. An outro. Topics of mystical, magical, and super woo. I don't know. This is not really an outro. This is just amazing, though. This is a dictionary. And I use it as an oracle tool. A lot of you know that. And I've been doing that for years, but I just got back into it lately. I taught a class on 5 psychic tips, and it was a big hit. And you open it up with a question. Now, I have noticed that this is getting uncanny for me. Like, I don't know how I'm just hitting the mark, right? Like, seriously. Like, I get the direct answers I need in the moment without even thinking. It's just like that's not possible to be that precise, but it is. I did it with my girlfriend last night at her house. We both did it and we were like blown away by it. So I would encourage you to just get an English dictionary or a pocket dictionary. This is the Canadian Standard English. So if I was to ask a question like, will Trump need to step down from office before the end of this year for some reason, right? Scandals, health, who knows what. And I'm not anti-Trump, I'm not pro-Trump. I was kind of more liking Trump a lot before he became beholden to the lords of the Z lords who run the Congress and the Senate and all that, who run the government, and it seems to be disempowered by probably blackmail. So I got the word drugstore. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's drugs, druggery, drug. It's all about drugs, drugstore, drugging, drugged, and drug. Will he need to leave office? I got the word drug. Does he need drugs because he's going into the hospital? Does it mean that he's already drugged and that's what's going on with him? You know, I'm not too sure. Like, it's a kind of question that you could keep asking. Now I got requiem. Okay. So you can see my finger landed right here. Can you see that? You saw me randomly open it, I hope. These are not flagged pages. Oh, fire rake. You're just going to have to take my word for it. My hand's on requiem. My finger was right on the word requiem. See, I'm not getting it to focus. There, requiem. It just is requiem. Yeah. Now, requiem is a funeral for a famous person. I said for health reasons or for scandal, will they need to step down? But you can say the requiem, like, you know, the like burying the career and having an end of a thing, you know, end of a career. Now, I got running and runner. Well, you know, somebody has to run from office, run for office. I'm running from the office. Yes. Well, but that would just be JD Vance going right back up. Well, JD Vance was his running mate. Yeah, it's his running mate. That's what I'm picking up on. So yeah, he will leave and the running mate will take over before we get to the end of this calendar year. There's an eclipse in Leo, seismic. There's a big shift here. I got season seismic. I don't know which it is. Seize the day, carpe diem. Yes. And there's an eclipse in Leo that's very intense. And it's impacting Trump as well in the summer. And that eclipse, even though it happens on August the 12th, it rolls back and includes the energy of the South Node. It rolls back to now because eclipses roll back in time 6 months before and after. So it's an intense period of time. I don't think he'll be in office by the end of this year. I've always said it originally a year and a half, 2 years ago, I said, as soon as JD Vance was his running mate, I said JD Vance will be prince in waiting and he will be in power before the 4-year term is up. Someone said that Erica Kirk was going to be his vice president. I'm saying, you've got to be kidding me. You know, at this point, and no one likes her, so I can't imagine that's going to work out. If you like her because you have lost some mammalian instinct for someone who's being authentic and telling the truth, everyone agrees differently. I go on tour and laugh and smile and giggle. No, there's something wrong here. Something significantly is not right. All right. Now you can unsubscribe because you love her and you think she's authentic. Okay. But 80% of people, if you look at comments when they're trying to promote her, like on Instagram, there's a channel like giving you glow ups for Erica Kirk, and you look at the comments, 80% of people are trolling because they're like, and then there's a few people going, may God protect you and you're amazing and we love you. And you're like, and then people are trolling because I know if you don't know the Erica Kirk story, but it's all over. There's memes, there's comedic skits about it. No widow is ever grieved that way, although we all grieve differently, right? It's completely weird. It's like as if he's either alive or she was his handler and she didn't even like him and she had to marry him. Something's deeply freaking off there. All right. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My outro was an instruction to use the dictionary tool in your life. Grab a dictionary, go get a pocket dictionary. You can put it in your purse. You can take it with you. Sudden decisions need to be made. Should I record a second video today? Because I really don't want to, but I think I need to.